3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my God!
Hey. Great outfit. Hey.
Like the shoes?
Yes. Yeah. Well, everyone, welcome to the Tesla Design Studio, where we've held many product unveilings before. Hope you guys all have a really great time tonight. I think I've never seen so many cameras in my entire life. This is cameras everywhere. So we're going to start off by just talking a bit about how did we get here. You know, what are the things that have led to this day? What are the cars like? How did Tesla start out? How did we, you know, where were we 10, 11 years ago? What has happened over that intervening time? You know, because it occurred to me that a lot of people, they only heard about Tesla maybe a year or two ago, and you know, electric cars are kind of like taken for granted, but there was a time when electric cars seemed very stupid, and it wasn't that long ago. And the idea of creating a car company was stupid, of course, and then making an electric car company was like stupidity squared. And so let's take a look at the first car we ever made, the Tesla Roadster. Yeah. All right. It's a bit small. It's great. It's great. So the crazy thing is, if you go back 11 years today, Tesla had made one car, that car. That's serial number 1 of Tesla. So that's my car, actually. So on February 2008, we'd literally only made one car, that car. And it didn't really work very well, I have to say. It broke down a lot. And it took us another 3 months just to make the second car. And now we've made about 550,000 cars. Yeah. So, and after the Roadster, essentially what happened with the Roadster is we said, okay, we want to make a car, we want to really break the mold about how do people think about electric cars. Do they think about electric cars as being slow and ugly and poor performance? So we want to have a sports car, you know, a car that is fast, looks good, sexy. That's right. Ha ha. You took the words out of my mouth. So exactly. Sexier. That's right. So the Roadster, the reason we did a sports car is we wanted to create a car that would break the mold for electric vehicles, and that would be sexy and fast and long range, and that's why we did the Roadster. You know, people say that, well, you won't be able to make a car with those specifications, and if you do, nobody will buy it. So we had to prove those two things wrong. And then after we made the Roadster, they said, okay, sure, you can make some toy sports car, but you can't make a sedan. You can't. There's no way you could compete with the luxury sedans that are gasoline, because they're the best. And there's no way you could make an electric car that's like that. So we did. Model S. Exactly. So noisy. Where are all the fumes? Where's the exhaust pipe? Where do you put the gasoline? Yeah. So we actually started designing that car in the rocket factory. So we didn't have a design studio. But we took a little corner of the rocket factory, and Franz joined, and we just, with a tiny crew in a corner of the rocket factory, we designed that car. I think that car was really important because it was competing against the best of the gasoline cars. So if you can make an electric car that can beat the best of the gasoline cars, it's a very powerful statement to prove that you can go electric. So then, working from the Model S, which by the way, in terms of where the name comes from, actually I like calling things what they are. So Roadster is called Roadster because it's a roadster. There is no good word for sedan. So we couldn't call it the sedan. It wouldn't work. Or saloon. There's just like literally no word. So the Model S stands for sedan. And this is how out of touch I was. I actually didn't realize at the time that Model S also means models. and then I had like at one point a license plate that said Model S2 because it was like the second production Model S, and it was like, and as I was walking away from my car, I said, "Wow, what a jerk! His license plate says Models 2." Yeah, I'm like, okay, better not have that license plate. So, but then going from the Model S, we said, okay, we want to make the best SUV in the world. We want to do something. We kind of got carried away actually with the Model X. We was like, let's have practically every technology and whiz-bang thing we could possibly think of. The Model X is like, as a car, it's like a Fabergé egg meets a spaceship. It's like, it was insanely difficult. But it is an amazing vehicle. Let's bring it out. Cool. Yeah. You can see a certain position forming, maybe. So, the Model X, like I said, it really feels like a Fabergé egg spaceship, it's X for crossover SUV. But then after we had the Model S and Model X, I thought it'd be pretty funny if we had the Model E. But then like Ford threatened to sue us. Ford killed sex. But I said, what if we call it the Model 3? Because that's completely different from me. They said, that's fine. So we have the Model 3. Let's bring out the Model 3. That's right, exactly. Exactly, smart summon with a person. So we made the original Roadster, the Model S, the Model X, the Model 3, and then we also then made the new generation Roadster, which we'll bring in. Sweet. Hey, sure.
Yeah, my man!
So, yeah, here we have the original Roadster, the new Roadster. Yeah. And then, hey, how's it going? And then the Semi. Actually, the Tesla Semi drove here nonstop all the way from the Bay Area. So that Tesla Semi, a 500-mile range electric semi. I learned to actually, only after naming the thing, that semi has two meanings. It's semi-sexy. So, yeah, so we're really excited about bringing those products to market. So that's sort of talking about our products. But then the factories are as much the product, if not more, than the vehicles themselves. In fact, I really think like the difficulty and value of manufacturing is underappreciated. It's insanely difficult. It's like relatively easy to make a prototype and extremely difficult to mass manufacture that prototype or to mass manufacture a vehicle reliably and at scale. I mean, even for rockets, I'd say it's probably a factor of 10 harder to design the manufacturing system for a rocket than to design the rocket. And for cars, I'd say it's maybe 100 times harder to design the manufacturing system than to design the vehicle itself. That's what the free market. I don't mean to have it in black and white. It's like it's not so long ago. They didn't even have color cameras back then. It was 2010. But it was very bleak. It's like essentially when we acquired the Fremont factory, which used to be called NUMMI, people sort of thought, oh, you've got a car factory. Now, if you have a car, they sort of think if you have a car factory, you can just make any car. It's like, no, that's like saying you've got a box. And that box can have anything you want in it. No, only if you make the thing in the box. Although we did get we had get a very good deal on the NUMMI factory, Toyota and General Motors actually took all of the good equipment out, and anything that was like so useless it wasn't even worth the scrap was left. So it literally looked like that, but in color. And it took an enormous amount of effort by a very talented team to actually turn essentially what looked like a derelict warehouse into a working car factory. Yeah. So, and in fact, like today, the Fremont factory, which is an enormous building, I think it's like the second or third biggest building in the world by footprint, is so dense, so densely packed with people and robots. But this picture has like robots, but there's 20,000 people that work at the Fremont factory across 4 or 5 shifts. So it's really a massive amount of people and robots. So it's like this giant cybernetic collective. So that was way harder than making the car, by far. I mean, it's worth noting, like the last time, at least in the U.S., the last time any car company achieved mass manufacturing was about 100 years ago. That is the last time, and then Tesla. It's literally that crazy. So, the issue is definitely not coming up with a car design. It is absolutely all about building the production system. You want to have a good product to build, but that's basically the easy part. Then the factory is the hard part. Then the challenge is like, okay, if we create a car factory, where the heck are the batteries and electric motors and power electronics going to come from? And that's where we need to say, okay, we better build something that's capable of 50 gigawatt hours at least of cell output, which at the time when we proposed the Gigafactory, I believe like total global output of lithium-ion batteries for all purposes, phones, laptops, certainly cars, anything, was about 30 gigawatt hours. So we're like, okay, well, just do the basic math. We need 50 gigawatt hours. So we better have a real big factory, or there's no way. So, we were going to build it in California, but like it would have taken 2 years just to get the permits. So we built the Gigafactory in the amount of time it would have taken to get the permits in California. That's what the Gigafactory looked like in 2010. It was basically rocks and bushes, okay? And now this is what it looks like now. Yeah. So, and it's only about a third complete. So this when complete, I think it's about 4 or 5 times the size of the Pentagon. So it's kind of difficult to appreciate scale, but although it's really quite tall, it's like 70 feet tall. So the volume of it is just mind-blowing. It takes 2 hours just to walk around it. So, again, it's work of a tremendously talented team working like crazy, like tens of thousands of people to produce this factory. And today it produces more lithium-ion than the rest of the world combined. So. Now we're also building a factory in China, which I'm really excited about. As you can see, this very impressive. Very impressive. A large puddle. So when I was there in January, that's what it looked like when we did the groundbreaking ceremony, and this is what it looks like now, 3 months later. But this is what it will look like at the end of the year. So things are moving fast, and this will actually be, once it's complete, the equivalent of our Fremont car factory plus our Nevada battery gigafactory combined. Yeah, so it's integrating the two, which kind of makes sense. So we're really excited about this. We have a great team in China, and this is going to be really important for making affordable versions of the Model 3 and Model Y for the greater China market. And then, besides cars, we have some other things. So the solar roof and Powerwall. This is definitely going to be the year of the solar roof and Powerwall. Because of extreme challenges with the Model 3 production, we have to basically allocate all resources to Model 3 production because otherwise we're going to die. And so basically, it was pretty tight, I have to say. That was a hard one. I would say like 2018 was probably felt like aging 5 years in one. Honestly, it was really intense. So, thank you for supporting Tesla through this difficult period. Thank you. Yeah. But now that Model 3 production is going pretty well, we're going to finally allocate engineering attention to the solar roof as well as the solar retrofit. I'm pretty excited about both the solar tile roof and the solar retrofit and Powerwall. Part of the reason we couldn't make Powerwall is we couldn't make enough cells. So we had to either allocate cells to the car or to the Powerwall. And I was like, well, we've got to make the cars. So then Powerwall got cell star, basically. But 2019, so we are now going to ramp it up. And then PowerPack. So PowerPack is kind of like our industrial strength battery storage system. We did the biggest battery storage system in the world in Australia. And yeah, that was really super cool. And then we're doing one that's roughly a gigawatt hour scale in California. So just in Southern California, right nearby, we're building a gigawatt hour scale power pack. And so we expect this to ultimately be really critical for transitioning the world to sustainable energy. Obviously, you have to have sustainable energy production and sustainable energy consumption. So the sustainable energy production need the solar panels plus the battery, because the sun doesn't shine at night, and then those electric cars, electric vehicles in general. Yeah. So, but I mean, the really exciting thing is if you have, with solar plus battery plus electric vehicles, we have a fully sustainable future. This is a future you can feel really excited and optimistic about. I think it really matters. Yeah. And then supercharging. So, you know, the first, in 2010, we had 0